All right, so we're going to discuss Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th one. We do have a review video with no spoilers. You can watch that. It's in our link below and also at the end. So if you don't want any spoilers, you stop now. And if you've already seen it and you want to know more, this is what we're going to talk about for the next little while.
Yes.
And I'll start by saying, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from beginning to end, but you already know that. But
of course,
I'll talk about the issues I have, because the issues kind of play into the spoilers. One, yet again, oh look, it's his same work buddy or whatever who wound up betraying him. The same plot I've heard a million times. Yet again, oh look, the guy who was in the agency that's been tagging along with him is the bad guy. And I said this in another review. You always know it's the bad guy now because they cast somebody big, and you're like, well, clearly it's him.
We knew it was going to happen.
I know it was going to happen. Going into the movie, I thought, and they give you very, very little to say, well, maybe not. They just kind of pointed it there the whole time. If they're supposed to give it a plot twist, they didn't do a good job. That was an issue for me. Like, come on, guys. You know what? Make me think the whole time. And then it was like Alec Baldwin at the end.
Here's what would have sold it a little more. The part where Henry, Superman goes and talks to his boss, Angela Bassett.
Whatever.
And he gives her the phone that they found when they killed the guy in the bathroom. But it was a clean phone. It was so, I know, but it was so clearly like, okay, well, he's bad. As soon as he did it.
Exactly.
He handed her a perfectly unbroken phone. This is the one we found. And that just spelled it out. I'm like, okay, make us think a little more, or make us wonder. That kind of spelled it out for me from the beginning. I mean, I already kind of suspected it was going to be.
I was kind of hoping that he would be like a really awesome assassin, government assassin, and he thinks that Hunt's the bad guy. And I know they did that in the previous movie where they all think he's the bad guy, but it wasn't the huge theme of the movie. It was kind of like a subplot. But that he is like his counter. Like, this guy is just as good as Hunt is, and he's going to go out there and he's going to, while Hunt's trying to save the world, here this guy is behind him trying to kill him the whole time, thinking that, hey, I'm trying to do what's right. I kind of thought that's where they would go with it. I'm not saying I'm disappointed, because they can take whatever they want, but it's the same story again of, oh, look, the guy in the CIA, guy that I was friends with, turns out to be the bad guy all along. Well, never saw that coming.
However, it was fine for what it was.
Yeah, I get it. Look,
the part where they're in like the cave, and there's all the double crossing, the twists.
That was great. I liked that part. It got me.
Yeah, and it worked. I knew at some point it was like, okay, when's Cable gonna? Like, we know he's gonna be bad, and somehow he was gonna get away. Like, that's gonna be the case. But
they also ruined it in the trailer.
They did, but it was fun. That was a fun part of the story.
I agree. Not taking anything away from that. I would just like to see a little better storytelling in that part, and to go off of it a little bit more, and why I take it to an 8.5 and not a 9. Okay. The original Mission Impossible, again, it was a series and it's been movies, was all about
movie or
both. The whole theme of Mission Impossible is that, all right, you're this government agency. It's all about the team, and there's face swapping and that whole espionage and gadgets. All right, how many gadgets did you see in the movie? None, and that's what bothered.
Wait, no. There was like the making of the face.
Yeah, they always have that. They always have the making of the face. Almost every other movie has really, really good gadgets. This had no gadgets, and that disappointed me a lot, because Mission Impossible, just like James Bond, has been about, like, that's one of the main things. Like, okay, cool government gadgets.
Here's the thing.
No, let me get one more thing. It's about the cool government gadget. It's about the team. It's always been about the team. You got your tech, it's the tech guy, and you got your action guy, then you got your you got your muscle and the face guy. You always have that A-team dynamic, you're throwing your wild card, your beauty, but they didn't have that in this. Only one scene in it, and that was in the very beginning, and I loved that part. I thought that was one of the better parts of the movie, actually.
Which part?
Right before the actual opening credits. All right, where they're in the fake hotel room.
Hotel.
Did I say hotel? Hey, that's the first movie. Hospital. I thought that scene was great. That's what Mission Impossible is. And almost every movie has had that one integral part where it's like, hey, this is the plan. It's almost like a heist movie, except it's about the mission. And there was no scene with a heist. It was just kind of like, here we are running the whole time.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
With the gadgets, the whole series of movies, there haven't been gadgets.
Sure, there's watches, and they have
in the movies.
Go look at the fourth movie. There's tech, and the fifth movie there's tech, and this, trust me,
You talking about like the eye contacts
or
and
stuff
like
that. Trust me, rewatch them, or if you ever watch the original series,
there's a sense,
about tech.
Yeah, but there's a sense of like realism to these movies, as
fine.
ridiculous as it would be to survive most of the stuff.
Right, I get that.
No, it's the same thing with kind of like the new Bond movies put in, where he's not really heavily using.
Right,
gadgets.
I'm fine with realistic gadgets, but I need to have. That's the draw of it, though, is to have those slightly where you're like, okay, that doesn't exist in the real world, or it does, and it's really, really cool being used in this area. The reason
they didn't have it, which is probably a viable reason, is that the IMF is under scrutiny in these past few movies.
Fair enough.
Because of everything they've been doing, and it's like, okay, you guys can have your team, but you're being watched. This, that, like,
I get they had the face tech thing. There was a few things I would just personally, as a personal note. I'm not saying I'm knocking the movie for this, but a personal note.
Are.
No, I'm knocking the movie because they did not have a team scene in the movie, and that is integral to being Mission Impossible.
They had a team. Are you kidding?
They had a team, but it was only a few parts, and that wasn't. It's always been about, and everyone on the team is doing something important, and you're building suspense for every single one of those members, and going, hey, what are you doing? This guy's here. This guy's here. Let's see if they can all make it happen all at one point. And
what do you think the end of the movie was?
Well, yeah, kind of.
They were all working as a team. He's on the helicopter.
Really. I mean, it's always been about that plan. Like, hey, we're going to go do this and then go here. And yeah, they kind of had that with the car chase, but you didn't really feel... The whole thing with the team stuff is like you knew going ahead what they were going to do, and then they did it, and then there's usually a plot twist at the end, like, oh, that was part we didn't know. It was kind of missing on this one. I just wanted a better... Like, I like heist movies, and I wanted kind of that planning stage, execution stage of that giant team effort to pull something off, and you're like, yeah, it was awesome.
I don't think that's what these movies necessarily
all of them have had something like that. This one had a little bit of it, and I would like to see it a little bit more. And that is what you're about, so I kind of like to see that.
I completely disagree with you.
All right, well, fine. But also it drug a little bit. Little few parts, I'm like, okay, pick it up.
Couple small things.
It
wasn't a perfect movie, but...
No, so it's got to take me 3.5 points down because of the points I just made. Poor story, could have been better storytelling, drug in a little few parts, and kind of missed out on really the core of what Mission Impossible is. Because it's just like, okay, look, it's another car chase. And those were fine. Plot twists were great.
Starting with the fourth movie in the franchise, they set a specific tone or idea for what they wanted moving forward.
Right.
To me,
and I like where they've gone.
The fourth one I'm not sure if it's better than this one or not. It's better or equal. It's very good, but it might be equal to this one.
Yeah, I think a tiny bit better. Scored the same, but I think tiny bit better.
The kind of little things that you're hitting on, they established something, it worked, and you know what? Keep going for it. I mean, who knows what they're going to bring up.
Right. I would like another one. I mean, and I know the mustache will make he'll be the villain. And it won't be much of a surprise when going into the plot going, oh, look, the mustache is the bad guy. We know the mustache is going to be the bad one. I thought...
They'll wind up being like a space battle or something.
Oh, something like that. I mean, that's the only way you can go with it. Because, I mean, one, he's getting old. Tom, he'll be 60 by the next time the next one comes out.
Yeah,
he's
so 56 now.
You got to think we're going to have to put in more CG, which is expected. And of course I won.
Tom will kill himself.
Oh yeah.
He's going to die.
Yeah, but he'll come back. It's fine.
He might.
We'll see what happens. So we'll see. I mean, if they make a seventh, which I do hope they do after watching this.
I do believe they will make a seventh, and they'll get Jeremy Renner back.
Yeah, probably.
He was not in this.
No, because
I missed his presence. I like him. He was in 4 and 5.
Where would you put him in the? Well, see, that's the thing. I guess he was kind of missing from the team. You could have put him in there. He added a good element to the team, and I did miss his presence in this movie, but it still worked. And that's another part. I felt the team was a little light, and I like Vin Rames and Simon Pegg.
It's meant to be.
It's always the team. Typically, and I'm not going to go because the show had 7 or 8 people you had to have. No, but
it's been set by the first movie moving on, and then it's
okay. Okay, let's look at the first movie though.
I'm not going movie by movie.
Okay, fine, but trust me, you go back and you'll see that. I'm not going to get caught up in it. Again, the movie was entertaining. Absolutely, I loved it. I did. I was on my seat, and to point on the whole. Non-green screen stuff, making everything practical. Yes. It does add a certain level of suspense. You don't see in other movies. It is it's really gets into your brain knowing that's not green screen, that's real. And I don't know just because I knew ahead of time, but I think you just watch it and you go, okay, that looks really real. And again, the vistas are gorgeous. I'm going to take away from that. Where they shot this, holy crap! I want to visit that place.
To me, from the beginning of establishing just how they fake out the guy, and it's just great. It's a Mission Impossible setup.
I didn't see that coming.
Perfect Mission Impossible setup. It's like, all right, there we go. That's
Until
how this movie starts.
Wolf Blitzer, then I was like, okay, now it's a setup. I figured it out.
Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to be done, and I liked all that. The bathroom scene.
Bathroom scene was the best scene in the movie.
was fantastic.
Best scene, and then to hit on it again, just real quick. Go ahead.
A second.
Okay, go for it.
Bathroom scene.
Yes.
All right. There's no music. There's no soundtrack in the background. No. It's just a brawl. It's just punch for punch. And it's Cable and Cruise, and I don't know the name of the stunt guy, but it was just
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the other stunt guy for the other guy. So.
But it played out so well from Cable throwing the guy through the glass to just, I mean, it felt like they were taking a beating.
Yeah,
and you felt it. Oh, I mean, when you're jarring in your seat, like, oh my gosh. That is an immersive part of the movie. So I liked that a lot.
I did too. I thought this was
really well done scene.
That was the helicopter scene was good in a different way though. And just to complain again, not to complain about a few parts, but you know how much I hate jump cuts, right? The bathroom scene didn't have any. You saw punch for punch how things were going.
There was no shaky cam.
No shaky cam, whatever.
Cam.
But then,
I love that.
Then they put it back in later fight scenes. I'm going, wait a minute, you didn't
really.
Yeah, when she was fighting him in the there was some another fight scene too where it was all over the place. The very end had a little bit, but mainly when she was fighting the bad guy.
One of the only scenes I thought could have been better, and I thought was the jump from the plane, the Halo jump.
Yeah, they did. It was just kind of, we're here.
He jumped to start. It came into the camera, and then it just kept going, and it was kind of an odd start for Cable's character, where he almost seemed like a bumbling fool.
Yes.
At the very start, and then
he was a real big jerk too, and then it was like, oh, he's going to carry the jerkness, and then all of a sudden he becomes nicer and not as bumbling. And you're going, it's not the same character.
I'll tell you one thing: Henry Cavill was very stiff through the whole movie, up until he is known as the bad guy. Once from that point, he kind of just loosens up a little bit, and he's like, all right, well, here we go. And from then on out, he was way different. But I guess was just playing this more stern character, and his acting was not the best. No, it was not the best.
That's why they changed his character up it's like 4 different times. But again, I get it.
I'm fine with that, but I'm
got
talking
2 different
about
personalities, 2 different, but
up to a point.
Right, you kind of saw similar. I thought his character was going to be flushed out a little bit more, and it wasn't. And
but even
again,
the whole
it goes back to I don't think he should have been the bad guy to begin with.
The whole chase. When I say the whole chase scene, I'm talking from the beginning, where it's a truck to a car to a motorcycle to him jumping rooftops. That was long. And I thought it was suspenseful.
No, it was.
It was one of the really good. And from him jumping across, and I think I mentioned it before, where this skyscraper where the Rock jumps across, and it's probably 5 times the length
of what Tom Cruise
and Tom Cruise legitimately jumps.
Right, it's an actual jump.
And
you got a harness
he breaks his ankle,
but you don't see the
harness. He breaks
harness.
his ankle, and he gets up and keeps moving. But it changes how action movies should be made. I mean, I get it that there's some that are meant to be more over the top and more ridiculous. That's fine. But as far as what this brings in this spy genre, espionage genre, it's excellent. I mean, it's up there with the top ones.
It is one of the better Mission Impossible. I'd put this. I'm not sure which is better, 4 because I think 4 is the best one.
4 is,
it'd be 4, 5, 6, and then probably 3, 1, 2. 2 is terrible. 2 is awful.
Two's the worst one.
2's by far the worst one. You go back and watch 1 again, and I'm not going to go into what I thought of 1. I mean, I saw it again like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm like, I just don't like where they took the whole story. But
I might say it's 4, 6, 5, 1, 3, 2.
3 is actually, I like 3.
I think I like 1 better.
Nah, I definitely like 3 better. 1, I don't like where they took the characters or
rating.
whatever thing. Well, fine. You grew up on 1. I grew up going, well, this sucks because I'd seen. I'd seen the TV series. You did. I didn't see 1 episode of the TV series. So me and Dad have the same.
Okay.
General idea of what we thought
I
about
know.
1.
I've heard you two complain about it.
Yes.
But going to the end of the movie, starting with the helicopter and him climbing up the rope.
Yes.
All of that was
fantastic.
Was him.
Yeah.
Him falling off.
That got me.
I watched it behind the scenes, and it just shows him falling off and hitting that ball. And dude, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But it makes the movie it's just that much better.
Yeah.
It's like the ground is moving along, the helicopter's flying, and you're like, oh, well, he's actually doing that. And
props to him. I got to give him to it. I mean,
I thought the helicopter flying, that whole scene was great. Up even to the end of the crash, and they're fighting. The scene was quick fight scene, and I like when the villain, if it's like a 1 movie villain, I like that he died like that.
Yes.
It's like,
he's dead.
There's not this long, drawn out scene of him explaining why he had to do it.
We already know why he was doing it. It didn't need a whole thing.
That.
He was a nut job. We get it. He was hated it. The whole system.
He died. That's it.
The end.
Thank you.
It was great. His mustache survived, obviously. Spoilers, we know this.
Sorry.
And climbs, but you see that it's the after credit scene. So stay till after the movie, and you see the mustache climb back up on the rock. It's glowing because of the whole exposure to plutonium, and then it turns red because it was originally green, like a neon green, like a radioactive green. And then you can tell it gets angry and does like a frown, and then turns red. So if you didn't, stay till after the credits because that's what.
It definitely.
If you're confused, you have to wait till after the movie's over.
A surprise.
Yeah, I was like, finally.
But it did get a standing ovation.
Oh, yeah, everyone went crazy in the theater. I was like, well, this is better than all Marvel ones. I mean, clearly put together. I mean, that's when you look at that scene, you thought, this is movie making.
Oh, there's no comparison.
No. And I thought, well, this movie was like a 5, but now it's an 8.5. Like, well done.
That's why I got such a high rating.
I don't know the mustache's name or who plays the mustache.
They'll hype that up in trailers. Teasers.
I think it's uncredited. I don't think he was actually in the title or she. No. But it's
they'll save it for teasers.
Right, exactly. And then that's why they couldn't,
Comic-Con, stuff like that.
It's why the whole mess up with just Justice League. The mustache was important. It needed to be in it. And man, what an entrance. I mean, for me,
unexpected.
I didn't expect it at all. My heart was like, holy crap. Like, it's going to throw down. Like, I thought it would fly, but it just climbs. And,
I was getting ready to walk out.
Yeah, me too. Movies. But then it comes back up. I'm like, oh my, it's the time. Because again, like I said, I've been waiting for the mustache to come out. Yeah. I was waiting for it to hop off his chin. I mean, that's his nose, and then go, oh my God, where is it? I thought it would move into different parts of his face.
So excited.
But
it did. That I buzzed my beard down.
Oh, did you?
When I got home.
I didn't.
You didn't notice?
I didn't notice. I didn't notice. I'm sorry.
It's a little different, but.
I see it now. It's the lighting. That's what it is. You
ran
out of
here. Life-changing after credit scene.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I haven't grown much of one yet, but I'm just going to shave the rest of this, like clean shave, and just have a mustache after.
We can only hope that Kathleen Kennedy gets the.
If she can take over this franchise
from that,
it's going to go from great to godlike. Not only will we get an episode 7 or a 7, an 8, which I'm sure will be heralded as amazing, and we'll probably have some different opinions on that. But it's going to be the weaker one for sure, but it's okay. If you don't like it, then something's clearly wrong with you. And then they'll do a 9, and the 9 will be where they wrap everything up. And maybe we'll get some originals from the original cast back, and then they'll probably kill them off real quick with no real
because in 8, what they'll do, the thing is, when they take over,
they will. I can't wait.
When they take over, Ethan Hunt, he's given up.
Oh, I think so.
He has given up. He's living.
I mean, he's done his time. Yeah.
He's going to be living.
Great character.
He's going to be living on an island,
just secluded.
And then Faust, she's going to come over there, and she's going to try to get him. Nothing's going to happen, and he's going to do like a hologram, like a face swap hologram.
That's where the gadgets can come in.
Gadgets.
I see. Yeah.
And at the end, he's going to do that, and then he'll just die. because he knows he's saved the world.
Exactly, and he's saved the world many times,
And
but that's how he's going to do it through the gadgets, and they'll work it out. I trust the storytellers.
That will be the perfect send off to Ethan Hunt.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no question.
No. I mean, of all he's done, to have him go out that way, it would bring tears to my face.
Definitely.
So, I don't think he's going to throw down with the mustache. I hope he does, but I mean, they may take the mustache and just run with it.
I can't wait for the future.
Maybe a prequel where we actually find out how the mustache got onto his face in the first place. That would be really incredible. I don't think he grew it. I mean, that's not that way. That's coming. No, that's crazy talk.
I grew this. That's nothing compared to.
Well, have you seen his? His is incredible. Ugh.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to the future of this whole franchise.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It sounds like it's going to be just the most grand, epic finale of movies ever.
Oh, especially if the right people get in charge of it. Because we already know JJ's fingerprints are on it. And as with everything else he does, as soon as he touches it, very soon after, it just becomes even better. Like he did with Star Wars, Star Trek, other TV shows, which aren't on the air anymore.
Those are all great.
Yeah, they're all great. I mean, they may have lasted a season or two, but still
a couple episodes, but they were pretty much masterpieces.
Oh, every second is a masterpiece. So I can't wait of what happens next.
I'm just so I cannot wait.
No, I'm in awe.
I really am. My mind
I went out shaking,
turning for what they're gonna do in 7.
Well, once I saw the mustache crawling back up the cliff, I thought this is it. This is where storytelling becomes legend, not just epic, but legendary. And I can't wait. I don't know exactly what the title of the next one's going to be.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Ethan versus Stash, or
I don't. They're going to stick with easy. They're going to stick with something. They'll come up with it. I think I'm going to give this one time to settle down. I'll wait for Comic-Con next year. So that way we can really see what they're bringing. But, title-wise,
something to do with facial hair, I think, would be good.
They've got it.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But until then, we'll just see what happens.
That's right. We can only hope and pray. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this. But otherwise, I thought it was a fantastic movie.
It was.
I recommend everyone go see it, especially if you liked the series and if you like action movies. And if not, you'll still enjoy it anyway. Yeah. If anything, for Tom Cruise's stunts.
Yes. Stay for Tom Cruise.
And stay for the end for the mustache, because it's totally worth it. So, yeah, as always, Chris.
Dave.